Hello, welcome to IHF Indonesia 2020 Goes Online. This is an institution webinar series. My name is Ogi. I'm going to be moderating this webinar. This webinar is going to be presented by University of East Anglia by Caroline. Please stay tuned until the end of this webinar because we will hold a Q&A sessions. If you have any questions about the presentations or anything related to the country's higher educations, you can submit your questions in YouTube's comment sections anytime throughout the presentation. And now, please welcome University of East Anglia, Caroline. Hello, Caroline.
Hi, sorry, I'm just trying to get my screen up here. Just 1 second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, shall I just start the presentation now, and then the students, if they come in or whatever, we will deal with it later on, yeah?
Okay.
Right, so I'm Carolyn, so I'm from University of East Anglia. So we're located in this location called Norwich. If you actually look at university's logo itself, it says University of East Anglia. Anglia is a word that I think a lot of people don't actually know what it actually meant. So Anglia is a very, very old word for England, right? So in the olden days, people don't call England as England, they call it England as Anglia. So if you actually look at our university's logo, it says University of East Anglia. We're actually located in east of England. So that probably explained to you why our name is as such. So we're located in a city called Norwich. It's 1.5 hours by train to London. There is an international airport in Norwich itself. So that from there, you can actually fly, well, actually from Jakarta, you can actually take KLM flight from Jakarta to Amsterdam and then Amsterdam to Norwich. And that's around about 30, 40 minutes by flight, okay, from Amsterdam. So pronunciation, the very first thing that I will usually teach students is this word here is not Norwich, which a lot of people are doing so, but it is actually Norwich. There's no W in that pronunciation, so it's Norwich. So coming to Norwich itself, Norwich is actually a city of stories. There's a lot of things that's ongoing in Norwich itself. It's a city of festival, drama, events, and music, and writing as well. So there are a lot of things that you could do. There's heaps and heaps of events. Festivals are usually run during non-COVID season. There's COVID season now, so it's slightly a bit more restrictive at the moment. If you actually look at festivals, there's lots and lots of festivals. There's all these festivals in Norwich, from studios opening to literature festivals to Norwich City L to Lord Mayor celebrations to Shakespeare's and Heritage. There's a lot of things, writing, music, science and beer, you know, all this are taken in Norwich. So these are all very happening events in Norwich. This is right slap in the city center. Look at the amount of people that's there. Of course, it's not happening now because of COVID, but on a normal day, it will be like that. Britain's Got Talent show. It's also in Norwich. This is right in the city center. This is how it looks like now because it's nearing to Christmas. A month to go, it looks very dreamy and romantic. It's very, very nice. This is the castle in Norwich. There's no one staying in there now, but it's actually a museum. It's the Festival of Lights. If you know Guy Fawkes Day, then this is once a year in the UK. It will happen, and ours happen by the coast. So Anglia, this is what we meant just now. Anglia is an old word for England. So city of Norwich, we always call it a home to another home. It is a very, very homely place. People are very, very friendly. So it has one of the lowest living expenses in the UK. It's also top 3 safest city in the UK too. We have lots of beautiful national park. There's a new word for you to learn, Broads. If you have time, check out what Broads actually meant for you. And then we have lots of beautiful coastal city, beautiful, little houses, hut itself that's colorful, really, really nice. We're popular for street shopping. There are lots of beautiful corners of Norwich. It's a very quaint, old Victorian, old city, so you'll see lots and lots of beautiful buildings like that. We have cathedrals. So in the UK, how things are started is that when every city itself is called a city when there is cathedral. If there's churches, it doesn't count, right? Cathedrals are a lot bigger than churches. So in Norwich City itself, there are 2 cathedrals. Most cities only have 1 cathedral. So that's how rich a city is for Norwich. So that's how it looks like in a castle. This is the castle. So here you will see this place. It says the driest city in England. Now, in the UK, everybody knows, most of the time if you're in the Western country, the weather are usually quite, how do you say this? It's usually quite wet, and it's very rainy. So but in Norwich it's actually very, very dry. It also means that you have fairer share of weather. So sometimes when they come to us, but Norwich still rains. Yes, Norwich still rains. However, it is worst in other cities. So it will be really, really cold or very, very rainy. It's just wet. So it's not pleasant. So you don't get to enjoy a lot of nice things outdoor when the weather is really, really nice. So if you can follow this this Instagram, it's called Norwichgram. So there's lots and lots of beautiful pictures in there of Norwich. It is a very, very charming city. So there are theatres. So if you want to watch theatre, you do not necessarily need to go down to London. You can see them in Norwich. Lots of beautiful places. So Asian, we're all about food. What's the popular food in Norwich? This is very, very special to Norwich, yeah? So Benham blue cheese, I don't know how many of you have tried blue cheese. Blue cheese is kind of a bit stinky. I don't really like it. But then if you want to try, it's really good. If you cook it with pasta, it's really delicious. Brancaster mussels. Samphire is really, really delicious. How they cook it in Norwich is that they will poach it and then they put butter and salt. It's very, very delicious. Norfolk black turkey, stevie cockles, and cromer crab. Cromer crab is really, really fat and meaty. So I've never tried this before, King. But anyway, there's Coleman Master, Mint, St. George Distillery, Woodford's Brewery, and also kettle chips. So if you see any kettle chips in Indonesia, you will see them in Indonesia, but they are generally from the US. But kettle chips started off in Norwich. So we've sold the franchise and all that all over the world. So kettle chips actually from Norwich. If you have never tried it, go and try it. You'll find it in the malls in Indonesia because I've seen them before. So popcorns, rice cakes. This are Norwich born, so Norwich made as well. So there you go. And like I said just now, I told you Norwich is very popular for movies and theaters, dramas. We're one of the city that a lot of movies is actually filming there. So you will see lots and lots of them. I don't know how many of you know David Copperfield. You can search him on internet. He's actually a very popular magician. Die Another Day, 007, James Bond, Tomb Raider, if you have any of you watch Tomb Raider, Avengers, Fighting with My Family. These are all popular movies. So in the movie for Avengers, you guys would have seen this. It says that the facility is actually in upstate New York, right? So this is how the movie actually looks like. Now, guess what? If you think that it's really in New York, then you've been lied to. So it's actually in Norwich. It is inside our campus as well. This is where the Norwich, this is the theater inside our university, art gallery. This is the Avengers HQ. Okay, so this whole entire thing here belongs to the university, inclusive the rod. Okay, it all belongs to the university here. So let's look at shopping. Shopping in Indonesia is anytime better, but of course it's a lot more expensive. We'll look into the videos. But this one here is the mall. We are known for top 10 shopping in the UK. So there's a lot of things to buy that you can buy, which is cheaper in the UK and not as cheap in Indonesia. But in terms of sizes, Indonesia's mall is anytime bigger than the biggest mall in the UK. So that's how I usually tell students. The street shopping, obviously just now, if you love outdoor market, Norwich has the largest outdoor market in England. Okay, so there are all your noodles, your soy sauce, your sweet soy sauce, and all that. You can buy them here. Okay, so it's quite easy. Royal Arcade, if you want, Jamie Oliver's restaurant is actually located here. Gerald's department store. This is slightly on a higher end mall. You get more stuff, slightly a bit more expensive styles, but it's actually one of the mall in Norwich. Norwich lands, we're known for lands in Norwich. There's lots and lots of lands in Norwich. Every time you think you're getting into one, you know that where you're going, you ended up not knowing it because they all look the same. But there are lots of shops in between that you can find, which is very, very interesting. We have things like John Lewis, which is one of the largest in the UK too. Eat Out, as an Asian, again, we love food. We've got all these very, very nice restaurants around that you can go to. I know a lot of Indonesians love Nando's. We have Nando's in Norwich. There are lots of Asian food around as well in Norwich too. If you like Bill's, you like Thai food, you like Five Guys, their burgers are delicious. So Waffle House is amazing. If you've ever been to, in the UK, Waffle House has the sweet and also the savory ones. Grosvenor Fish Bar is one of the most popular fish and chips place. It's really, really nice. You should try it out. Fig Bar has very, very nice dessert. I want you to know UEA. So it is the second safest city in England. Okay. In this pandemic, we have also the lowest death rates in England too. So at this moment of time, it is really, really safe in Norwich. Though there are cases, but we are the lowest in terms of case itself. Okay. Students population. Now, how big is the university? The university started off in 1963 with 87 students. Today, there are 17,000 students overall in Norwich, in UEA actually. 3,500 are international students. And ranking wise, we're top 200 university. In terms of teaching excellence framework, we're on gold level. As a university, we're top 25 easily in the UK, depending on which ranking you're actually looking at. There are 130 universities in the UK. So teaching quality, all the universities in the UK will get an award like this, okay? So provisional is terrible, bronze, silver, and gold. There are 76 gold in total, and we are one of the gold in the UK. This tells you that how good our teaching quality is, okay? Campus, so this is how our campus look like. It's a real big campus, beautiful, beautiful campus. Students will tell you they love that place, they love the air, they love the greenery. It's really, really, really nice and relaxing. So it's a campus-sized campus itself, like a huge big campus on its own, with own park and all that. So anything that's white in color here are all accommodations. If you're doing foundation here, then it's actually here. If you're doing English program, it's also here. This is Adventures HQ, like I said just now, but it is actually a gallery. History and museum students actually study in this building too. If you're doing law, it's all here. This iconic building here is also our accommodation, and it's the cheapest, it's the oldest, but it has also won many, many times gold award because it was very well maintained. It also has $1 million view look itself. The window is really big, so you can see, overlooking the broad and the greenery itself is really, really beautiful. If you're into sports, we have the largest indoor sports park in the UK. So going down the city center is towards this on your right. It's around about 15 minutes by bus. If there's traffic, it's about 20 and maximum 25 minutes max. So that's really nothing for anyone that's from Indonesia because you guys are mustering in it. So this is the other side of the campus, how it looks like from the other side looking into the campus, opposite side of it. This is the summer, this is the winter, but this is actually a lie. It was like that in 2017, 2018 probably, when there was a huge storm on that. But you don't generally get such cold weather during winter. It is only about 1 degree or maybe -1. That's about it. And if there's a snow, it's probably 3-4 days to a week maximum in December or January. Trust me, it looks nice, but it really is not nice because it's very inconvenient. It's very slippery as well. So this is the Ventures building. Inside the Ventures building looks like this. It's like a museum. It gets changed every 3 months. This is the business school. Internally, this is one of our lecture theater in the university. It's very modern and new. If you're into law school, this is our law school. This law school is actually a big mansion. It belongs to this lady. She's the second lady, this lady here. Her name is Elizabeth Fry. The family owns a bank in the UK. And previously, this house belongs to Elizabeth Fry. Elizabeth is the second woman that got printed on a UK pound note, apart from the Queen. So that's how important she is. So this is some of the pictures of the law school. Today, the law school, the university is actually bought over and turned it into a law school now. It's a very nice big mansion. There's some kitchen. All the lectures rooms are actually up here. They are offices. And then class size, your seminar sessions and all that are all in here. Your big lecture is going to be on the campus on its own. Internally, it looks like this. It's a very cozy house. Taylor Swift love our law school. There's a lot of concerts in the university. I will tell you about it later. Science and Engineering building is this one. It's very new. It's very beautiful. This is how it looks like now. Internally, there's lots of things to do. It's like 30 million pounds building. That's how they do it. Bob Champion Research. This is our research center in the university. It looks like it's really nice. Area of studies, there are 4 faculties and 23 schools in total. So there are social sciences, science, medicine, and health, arts, and humanities. Most of the Indonesian students that's with us, they're in social sciences. There are some of them in science, like our pharmacy program for a couple of years in a row. The top student has always been Indonesian. Speech language therapy and physiotherapy is quite popular amongst the Indonesian students too. And then arts and humanities area, we're very good in film, television, and media. We're very good in literature, drama, and creative writing. We're also very good in political, social, and international studies. Okay, so that's the big thing for us. So popular courses, we can go through it later on. So these are our popular courses for the Indonesian students that comes to us. So there's undergraduate program, there's also postgraduate program too. Brilliant humanities. So why is okay, so we have 24 hours library, more than 80 sports club, more than 100 society, Olympic swimming pool, modern teaching facilities with lots of campus restaurants. We'll also have a sensory center visual arts. If you love swimming, with Olympic swimming pool, like you see just now. If you love rock climbing, this is the rock climbing wall. Like I said, we are very popular for gigs. If you love gigs, we're very good in gigs. We have more than 60 gigs in a year. How many weeks are there in a year? 50 over weeks in a year. So that tells you every single week there is a gig, there is a concert going on. But of course now it's not. But when the situation gets better with the COVID, this I'm very sure will come back again because we have a very good team that does this. And we're not talking about small gigs, small concert. So you can see these people here. They are Taylor Swift, the Coldplay with Ed Sheeran. So look at how big Taylor Swift concert is with us. So this is actually inside the university. Accommodations. So there's on-campus and off-campus accommodation. These are all on-campus accommodation. Some of the pictures that you could see, we can go into details if you're more interested. We also have off-campus accommodation that you can rent outside the university. You do not necessarily need to be in the uni. Tuition fees. this is our undergraduate tuition fees this year. Okay, it starts from around about £17,100, depending on the program that you're doing. Okay, all through to about 33,500, which is medicine. And this is our postgraduate taught programs. Again, depending on what programs you're actually doing, all through to the expensive one, like 20 over 1,000, 30 over 1,000 for occupational therapy or physiotherapy. So depending on the program that you're taking. So international students fee starts from £17,100 for September 2021. Scholarship, our new scholarship has not been announced yet, but when it's announced, we can actually send you the information. So, and we are one of the very generous university in terms of giving out scholarship. So last year, September 2020, we gave undergraduate students, as long as you get an offer from us, you will automatically get a £3,000 scholarship per year. 3,000 per year, okay? So it will be around about 9,000 for 3 years of study. So 3,000 per year, okay? And the international undergraduate scholarship from 4,000 to 10,000, again, it is given on a yearly basis. This is very competitive. And then if you're doing foundation year scholarship, this is the foundation year scholarship, and postgraduate scholarship is £4,000 one off, okay? So that's our scholarship. And then entry requirements. Entry requirements are here, okay? We can go into details if you think you have specific questions to ask. So basically, we have a list of university that we can tell you whether we can accept you based on what your GPA is going to be. Yeah, cost of living is around about £785 per month. It can be a lot lower. A lot of students tell us some of them only spend about £600 plus, depending on the room that you take on. But anyway, if you live a very comfortable lifestyle, on-suite campus on accommodation, you're already not sharing with anyone for the toilet. Your own room is about £635 per month. Food is about £120 per month. Transportation is about £20 a month. Mobile phone is about £10 a month. All in all, it's about £785 per month. But trust me, there are students who spend like £600 over a month. Yeah, so that's generally what we are and who we are as a university. Okay, so if there's any question, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we can see you in our chat room.
Okay, Caroline. I still have about 8 minutes to present. Is there anything else to say or something like that?
No, generally. If students are looking at applying for undergraduate studies itself, we have our agents, our colleague who is helping them in Indonesia. So they can just apply through the agent, which is JAC Study Abroad. Other than that, I think we can help them with any queries that they have, or JAC Study can help them with any queries that they have, because JAC Study knows us very, very well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Caroline, for your presentations. Now we will maybe begin directly to the Q&A sessions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there is a question here. Is there any fully funded scholarship for undergraduate student there in University of East Anglia?
The simple answer is no. There isn't any fully funded scholarship at all in UEA. At least in the UK, I think it's quite hard to look for one now because of the COVID situation, and economies aren't doing very, very well. Not just us. But our scholarship that we're giving out has always been quite generous. I don't know what the scholarship is going to be like in the coming year, because there hasn't been any approval just yet for our scholarship. However, we're happy to be in touch with the students if they would leave their contact details for us to contact them in that way, or they can come into our chat group later.
Okay, thank you, Karan, for the answer. So there are no fully funded scholarships in University of East Anglia, right? Okay, maybe move to another question. Maybe about the requirement of the university itself. So is there any minimum score of IELTS to enter the University of East Anglia, or minimum GPA, maybe for each level of educations, for bachelor, for masters, and for PhD? Can you explain it? Okay.
Yeah, there is. So masters and PhD itself is a case to case because there's so many universities in Indonesia. But basically, we take in the Group A and Group B universities, so Peringkat A and Peringkat B universities that we actually do offer them. So it starts on GPA at 3.0 all through to about 3.3. It also has to depend on what program that they're actually doing. So different programs asking for different GPA. And for IELTS itself, IELTS, we are asking for an overall 6.0, 2 bands in 5.5, and 2 bands in 6.0 for September 2020. Generally, the scholarship, generally the IELTS is IELTS 6.5 with no band lesser than 6.0. But this September 2021, we are able to accept IELTS 6.0, no band lower, 2 bands no lower than 5.5 and 2 bands no lower than 6.0. Yeah, so that's what we are looking for. And then for undergraduate level, if they are from the SMR3 program, they won't be able to enter our universities directly. They will have to do a foundation year program with the with our university. And then if they are doing A levels or IB and all that, so that really depends on what program they are coming in. We have hundreds of programs in the university, so it's quite difficult to go through one by one. But then generally the guideline is BBB. Majority of the programs are A, B, B, but there are also a big chunk of program which is BBB. And then for IB students, we are taking starting at 28 points and above. So again, it depends on what program they are doing as well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Caroline. So move to the next question is, for Bachelor Science Developmental Psychology with placement year, does it mean that university will search for internship for us? Which one is more useful, placement year or year abroad? Thank you.
Is this for undergraduate?
Yes, for bachelor.
Okay, so if it is a 4 years program, I like the placement year rather than the year abroad. So in your placement year itself, the university do have places for students to go and do their placement year. But of course, the students will have to go through interviews, okay? So the university will help you to look for, they will give you a list of companies that's taking in students for internship. However, you have to go for interview. So if you pass the interview, then you will get in. If you don't, then you have to come back and study for your year 3 program. So if you ask, I mean, the chances, there's a lot of chances. A lot of our international students has gotten places for internship anyway. So I always say that, you know, you prepare yourself early when you first start. Our school, I mean, UEA is very, very popular because our class size are very small and concentrated. So teachers are the lecturers are very, very close to the students. They do help them and support them very, very well. So we always tell students, you don't start at the last minute. You start as early as you can, you know, right in the first year, get your CV corrected, go for interview, mock interview sessions. There's career fairs that's happening as well. So speak to your lecturer about it, keep in touch with them so that they are able to brief you on what you can do and how you actually do it. So it is important to actually put yourself out there. I won't say it is guaranteed that you'll definitely get a place, but if you try hard enough and you prepare yourself well, chances of getting it is quite high. So a year abroad means you just, you know, you do year 1 with us, year 2, you will go to another country, say the US or the UK or the US or maybe Europe or Australia, New Zealand, whoever our partner is. So you go there for a year. Finishing that, then you come back to us again for year 3 and year 4. So that's what year abroad actually meant. But placement year is you do year 1, year 2 study, year 3 work, year 4 come back and study again, then you graduate. So I always highly recommend as an international student, especially if you want to stay back after you graduate from your degree level, it is very important that you actually do internship year during your studies because that helps you to put your experience, that 1 year internship experience, inside your CV. And from there, you will be able to look for better opportunities when you graduate itself. Because I think a lot of international students thinks that it is quite, every time I'm going to ask them, what do you want to do after you graduate? Do you want to come home to your country, or do you want to stay back? They're like, oh, I don't want to come back to Indonesia. I don't want to go back to Malaysia. I don't want to go back to my home country. I want to stay back in the UK. But there's one rule here. You don't have a residency in the UK. So there's no visa for you to stay on, just like how expats go into Indonesia, you have to apply for visa for them to get in. Similarly, in the UK, if you want to stay back and work, you are required to have a visa to stay back. Now, what makes me as a company wants to hire you as a person, so if I have to train you from scratch and from new, I have a lot of applicants that I can hire that I don't have to train in that way. Yeah. So as an international student, you don't only need to worry about your program, you have to worry about your culture and everything else that you have to learn too. So I think there's a long process, but it is very important to do a placement year.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Caroline. So maybe we'll move to the next questions. If we already got the offer letter for University of East Anglia, but we're still waiting for the funding, how long can we defer the admission process?
Defer as in within the same year, or defer to a different year?
Maybe in the same year first, and after that.
So generally, deferring itself isn't a big issue. Let's put it that way. What they need to do is they have to reply to the school before the deadline. So every time when you're given an offer, they will tell you when is the deadline you have to accept the offer. So before the deadline comes in, you have to write back to the university and say you want an extension of the deadline so that they can defer it for you.
Okay, which means like we can defer it for one time to the next year, or twice maybe to the next year after.
Oh, so if they want to defer to the year after, so they will only allow you to defer one time. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can't come this year, they'll defer another year for you, which is next year. And then if you still don't come to us again the following year, they will cancel your application. The following time, you have to apply on your own. You have to reapply again.
Okay. So to conclude that, the chance is only one time for defer the application, right?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe move to the next questions about the accommodation cost. Maybe how to find a good accommodation there, and how much it is, and how far maybe from the university itself.
So our accommodation is all on campus, like the picture that I showed just now during the presentation. It's actually all on campus. So to find accommodation is quite easy. The university will assist the students. They will help the students to look for the accommodation. So what they need to do is to apply before the deadline, which is 31st of July. And then there is options that they can actually look for. They have to put in the options that they want, select the options that they want. And then from there, you will be able to prioritize what you want. And then the university will then arrange one for you, one for the students. It's not, you can't say that, oh, this is what I want, but you can select your options, and then the university will give you the options later on, whichever one that you selected.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So maybe to the next question is there any student advisor for a new student maybe who's still confused about a program that they will choose in this university, maybe, or maybe after they enter the university itself, is there any student advisor that will overcome their maybe a psychology or a culture stuff or something like that? Thank you.
Well, if it is before them starting the program, the first part of your question, if it's first part of the question, before starting the university, you don't know what you want to do and you don't know what program you want to go for and all that, they can come and talk to me, or they can talk to Jack Study, so they will be able to advise them. If they have come into the university, every single student in our universities is given a personal tutor. There is also well-being advisors in the university where they can help them with psychological stuffs, missing home, finances, and all this. There is also a counselor for that. But on the program itself, if they can't catch up, they have problems with understanding the content and everything, there is a personal tutor given to the students. All of them has one.
Okay, thank you very much, Caroline. Maybe we move back to the accommodation. Is there any private accommodation there rather than student accommodation, maybe, and how far it's from the campus itself?
Yeah, there is a lot of accommodation that's private accommodation, near or far. So that really depends on where they want to stay, which area they want to be in, what kind of facilities they want, whether they want to stay with a home family, they want to stay with a British family, or they want to stay on their own. There is a lot of options on that. The university has help for that as well. We have a service called Home Run, and this Home Run team itself will be able to help students with what they're looking for in that sense. So it really depends on what the budget is if they want to stay outside. So I generally tell students, if you're only there for a year, I wouldn't recommend staying outside because you paid so much money and you want to come to university to experience what it is like staying on campus. However, if you're there for 3 years, 4 years for undergraduate studies, I would say first year, stay with the university, make some friends, and then you move out after that on the second year and third year thereafter, which is a lot easier because you would by then understand where you want to stay, where you want to go, how you get the buses and all that, how long is it going to take you to come to classes. So some people sleep till really, really late. So yeah, it depends on, all that. But I would say if they're only there for a year, stay on campus. If they're there for 3 years, stay there on campus on the first year, and then year 2 onwards, move down.
Okay, thank you very much. Move to the next question is how about the teaching method during the pandemics in the University of East Anglia itself? Is there online or something like that?
Okay, so we call this the hybrid learning. So it depends on what program you're actually on. Like, for example, our law school, psychology, medicine, SLT. So all these programs are health sciences program, and law programs is also very small. So what we do is anything that's big lecture itself, it will then be taught online. Anything that is seminar sessions, which is like personal tutoring sessions, or that it will be face-to-face. There are certain programs that has way too many students, then it is all done online, so they don't run face-to-face. But classes in terms of your personal tutor timing with you and your seminar sessions, like 16 in our class itself is between 15 to 20 maximum in tutorial classes. So that's ongoing face-to-face.
Okay, so the teaching method is still hybrid during the pandemics. And how about the next year? Is there any picture of the teaching method?
It really depends on what the situation is going to be like. So, nobody knows how COVID is going to be. Nobody knows how serious it will be. So if it is going to be really serious, it will still be hybrid method. But if it is going to be better, the university wants it all face-to-face, so we just want everybody to be around, and so we can give you the learning experience. But it is not always possible because COVID is in place at this moment of time. So yeah, it is important to just find out and see what COVID situation is like.
Yeah, of course. We hope the condition is getting better soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Caroline, for all the Q&A session. That's the end of our Q&A sessions. Thank you very much for Caroline and teams. Just a reminder for you guys that you can connect us you can connect with Caroline through the information given by Miss Caroline earlier. Okay, thank you very much, and see you in the next sessions. Bye-bye.
Sure, thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.
Hello, Christabel. Just say hello.
Yes.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
Hello.
Bye.